Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Pip here from QueenPipCards.com and the Card Making Know-How Academy. Welcome to my monthly live. Today we're looking at Christmas cards. Yay! It's that time of year. We're getting there. It's coming up for Christmas and all of that jazz. So I thought today I would show you two different styles of Christmas card. One which is very traditional, using just paper stamps, more of a standard Stampin' Up kind of card, and then another card which I'm going to be using my Lavinia stamps for. So, without further ado, let's go hands down. If you're watching, excuse me, please forgive me. I've had a cold the last few days, so I might be a little bit croaky. But yes, I've got my tea on hand. So please forgive me if I take a swig every now and again. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say, and it's lovely to see you. Alrighty, so let's go hands down. Hopefully you can see that now. There's my hands. Lovely. There's my tea. Okay, so let's talk Christmas because it is October. It is that month, and I know lots of people are thinking about Halloween. I don't really celebrate Halloween as much as lots of other people do. I don't think we do as much in the UK and Europe, certainly not as much as you do in North America. But I have been getting witchy with some stuff over the last week, which I'll show you later. And we'll talk a little bit more about my Lavinia stuff that's coming up later as well. But first off, I thought I would show you a Christmas card using Ornamental Christmas. Okay, so this is a stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. And I just love this Christmas tree here. I think it's very classy, standard Christmas tree. You could swap it out easily to not be a Christmas card and be like a birthday card or something like that. So, you could use it for multiple purposes. You've got these sort of stringy things here for lights or stars and things. And then you've got a bit of a more kind of cutesy style Christmas tree here as well. And it comes with a set of dies. So I'm not sure whether we're going to die cut today yet. I'm not sure about that. We will have to see how things progress and just see whether I fancy it or not. We'll maybe take a poll in the group and we'll see. Hello, Jane. Jane's on with us. So this is the die set that comes with it. So you can see I've got a die here that would cut that Christmas tree out, but it's quite like it's not fancy. It's just going to cut out the shape of a Christmas tree, but that's useful for other things as well. So you can do lots with a die that's like that, and then it has lots of things for like baubles and stars and the different Christmas trees and all those kind of things. So it's definitely a handy Christmas set. It's on the online exclusives at the moment. So I'm going to bring this out. We'll see whether we're going to use that. In the meantime, I've got my tree. I've got two of the sentiments, Be Jolly, which I managed to stick the sticker on very badly, so that'll be interesting. And then 'Tis the Season, which I got right, so that's okay. So we'll see how things go. And then it comes in this bundle or collection, whatever they call it these days. There's some gorgeous papers which are part of it. So I just thought I would use some of that. These are the other papers that are part of it. So you've got this real beautiful gold, uh, black and gold stars, and then on the back you've got these beautiful Christmas trees, which actually is just gorgeous. Um, and then you've got gold baubles, gold and white baubles, and some mixture of black and gold and white Christmas trees. They're lovely. I think it's just so classy. And these have got, show you the back. It's sort of like a plaid and a spots design. This one says fa la 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 la, as we all like, and then we start singing. And then it's got gold mistletoe, gold, black and white mistletoe on that side. I think I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? I've done that one. This one. This one is stripes. That's very nice. And then sort of a funny kind of funky pattern on that way. And then, oh, what's this one? Have we seen this one now? Oh, this one's like circles, but they're like circles that change into like bauble shapes. They go into that star, sort of star shape. Anyway, so that's that one. It's a bit zizzy on the eyes, some of these. And then I think that's it. Then it's just repeats. Yeah. So it's a lovely set of papers. And I thought it would be good to make a Christmas card with this. Um, Now, I do like it with the black and the stars on that side. I actually do like it as well on the other side. So I'm in a bit of a quandary as to whether we go Christmas trees or stars. So I might need your help with that. See how, because you can't really go wrong with gold stars, can you? I mean, that's kind of what I thought we were going to go with, but it's also very, very elegant and pretty. I would kind of go a little bit more with the other thing that I had in mind, which I've now forgotten to bring over. So yeah, I kind of like that. I think I might go trees. Tell me what you think, guys. Trees or stars? Put it in the chat. Trees or stars? Meanwhile, I'm going to grab my embossing powder. Two ticks. Because we do need to do a little bit of embossing on this for this card. So we don't have to decide yet. We can decide on the trees or stars later. But what we do need to do is stamp our tree. So I cut a small piece of basic white here. And then we've got our tree and our memento. And I'm just stamping. Trees look good, says Ouch. I think they do look good too. So I think my memento is dry. Very dry. Let's try and squeeze the life out of it. Hang on. Let's try and get some more ink on here. Wow, it's very dry. That needs re-inking. Go and get some re-inking going on that. There we go. In the meantime, let's see how that goes. That will do. Alrighty. So I'm going to put my tree, and I'm just going to place. I've just cut a piece that's about the right size for the tree, and I'm just going to pop it down there, and then hold it. Let that absorb in, and then come straight back up, like so. Yeah, you can tell it's a bit grey. So definitely needs re-inking. So then I've got a piece of black that I thought I would mat that with over the top there, like so. And then we can just kind of start layering it up. So see, I think the trees would look good. I think that would look really good. I think it does look nice the other way. If we wanted to do it with stars, we could do it with stars, but I actually do think it looks better with trees. So we're going to go with trees and see how we go. All right, so we'll pop on our trees. Now, since we're doing the stars on the back, it doesn't matter so much about using glue. So I can just get this glue going, hopefully. So, all right, pop that in there. So all I did to make the little band, this is just layer one of a card layer. So we've got the base card A6, and then we've got first layer down size. And then all I did was I sort of just measured the stamp and added a little bit just to get this width and this height. So we've got a long strip here with just the Christmas tree in the middle, just a strip of white, which we're then matting and layering onto the strip of black. And to get the strip of black, I just added 1/2 centimetre to both dimensions. So that's a really easy way of making your own layers. You don't need to know necessarily the measurements. You just need to know the size of your own stamp. Use a ruler and then trim accordingly. And if you just go up in 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 of an inch, then you're always going to work it out well. If you want a little slimmer border for those of you who work in letter size cardstock, then you could use 1/8 of an inch if you wanted to. Okay, so that's going to go here on the left hand side, just on the left side of the card, because it makes it more interesting if it's not in the middle. You could put it in the middle if you wanted to, but it looks better over on the other side, in my opinion, especially when we're going to add a sentiment over here. Now, to add the sentiment, I was going to heat emboss something on white, and I think no, on black even. And I'm thinking, do I want "'Tis the Season"? "'Tis the Season" would be nice. "Be Jolly" might be a bit small. Let's go with "'Tis the Season," I think. So for that, I just want a piece of black. So I just pull out my scrap pot, if you know what I mean. I've just got a bag full of scraps. See which one the sentiment's gonna sort of fit on. Doesn't have to be perfect, remember. You can always trim it afterwards. Then we're going to do some embossing, some heat embossing. So we will just take our little embossing buddy, always handy, especially on black. It does make it go slightly white, but don't worry, it'll come off. So a little bit of embossing powder, as in a buddy powder, not embossing powder. Right, now this it's definitely sort of straight with the top. So this is Versamark ink, which we're going to use. And if you don't know how to do embossing, I've got loads of videos on here about how to do embossing. My top tips for embossing, that was a recent one I did. And then I've got another one, embossing basics as well. So we'll just stamp that down. And if you want to learn more about embossing, then you need to come and join the Card Making Know-How Membership Academy. So there we go. Do that. Make sure it's on. It's on. Great. And it looks straight. Always good. Then we will add on, oh, sorry about the noise, add on some powder. I'll pop this on. There we go. And see that embossing in buddy's done its job. Stopped anything from sticking. Ish. Yeah, no, it has. It's not bad at all. Okay, so that's 'tis the season. I'm just going to cover that up. Normally I would put that away, but I'm just going to cover that up for now. There we go. If you love embossing, then give us a shout out while this is going. This is going to become loud, and I don't know if I can't remember if my sometimes it cuts out the noise and you just hear me still, but I don't know. So I'll be back in a moment. We need to heat it up. Need to get it really warm. So get it warm. There we go. So we heated up the gun first to get it really warm. That really helps with getting the evenness quickly. There we go. Nice, bright white. There we go. So now I'm going to cut it to size. I like to do it after I've heat embossed it, then I know exactly that it's A, working, and B, what size I want it to be. Doesn't really need much off. Take just a smidge off of there. Doesn't really need it. We'll take a tiny bit off that side, and then we'll take a little bit off this side, just to make it a little smaller and not take up so much room on the card. That looks crooked. Something went crooked there. That does not look right. For doing really tiny bits, I like to use my guillotine. So I get a little guillotine. And if you're just trying to trim up edges that you think, oh, I've gone a bit skew-if with, then guillotine is the best way of doing that, I find. And yes, that looks it's a little bit off. It's a bit better. Take this top bit off, trim that down a smidge. Still doesn't look particularly straight. I wonder if my edges are straight. I had real problems the other day. I was doing something. See what I mean? That does not look straight at the bottom there. Is that a bit straight? I know it's slightly curved, but let's just try and get that straight with the line there. might have moved it because it's quite small. Maybe it's just my eyes. No, that does look alright. Just my eyes being funny. Sometimes my eyes do that. Because I've got astigmatism, it's hard for me to tell at the angle. I always say to people, if you've got astigmatism, you should stand up and look at it that way, which does look better. Okay, so I'll just get rid of all these little bits as I trim it down. You can trim it however you want to. You could hand cut it out if you fancied. Easy enough to do. So I think that's fine. And then this is going to come along here. So that will fit nicely there, I think. I think if it goes too much there, see, there's taking away too much of the tree if it goes across the tree like that. So I think we'll bring it down to the corner and that'll work nicely. So I'm going to stack these up on dimensionals, on Stampin' Dimensionals. These are the foam pads I prefer to use because they are hexagonal in shape, which makes it so easy for getting into corners, but also it works well on circles. You can go, some sides are flat, so you can go right up to the edge. Now I'm going to get into a quandary, aren't I? I'm going to go this. I think that'll be fine. Sometimes I like to add a few more just to make sure I don't get any soggy middles, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe another one in the centre there. Just make sure that doesn't go down. There we go. That looks a bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to position this, as I said, on the left with trees, one line of trees showing at the side. Straight. There we go. And then this one's coming down here, so it's going to just touch over that corner. So we'll stick some dimensionals just on this side, and that means that we don't need to put a dimensional there because that's going to go onto the tree element. So we'll just add a little bit of glue to that top corner. Otherwise, that will be just flapping around, and we don't want a flappy sentiment on your card. And then we'll just add some sparkles because all things are better with sparkles, right? So we'll just pop that in to the side there. So that's at the bottom left right hand corner. So bottom right hand corner, just overlapping to the piece that's got the tree on it. And we'll get some sparkles. Now, here's a question. I haven't got any. You know what? I'd really like black sparkles. Have I got any black sparkles? I might have some black sparkles. Let's see. I have got some black sparkles and some silver, which I think would work nicely. So these are the adhesive back sparkle gems. See, they do what they say on the tin. I think they are in last chance though, to be honest. I don't think they might not even have any left at this point. So we'll just add some large black sparkly ones down the bottom here. I'm just tucking underneath the sentiment, so just sort of poking out, and then we'll pop a little silver one on the top of the tree because trees have got to have a bit of a sparkle at the top. And I think that'll do us, to be honest. You could add more if you fancied, but I think I'm just going to stick with 3. So there we go. That is 20 minutes or less. A very simple Christmas card. Nice. You like? Hopefully you like. I'm going to have a swig of tea. You can tell me if you like. Then we're going to clear away and do the next one. That's card number 1. We have more cards coming. Oh, Julie's on. Hi, Julie. How are you doing? All good, I hope. Okay, so we don't need the Versamark or the Memento anymore. So take those away. Now, for those of you who have not been paying attention to my emails, the spring retreat is now available to book. And you've got 2 dates that you can choose from, Saturday the 28th or Sunday the 29th. The Saturday's filling up nicely. Sunday's just opened, so you can have a choice of which one you want to come to. If you are booked into the Saturday and you want to extend and make the second day another retreat day, then you need to get in touch with me and I'll send you the private link to book in, because it's only available to add on to those who've already booked the Saturday, or to those who are going to book the Saturday. So if you want to book the Saturday and the Sunday, then book the Saturday and then email me to book the Sunday in as well. Okay, so that's a very simple Christmas card for with Stampin' Up. And the reason why I'm talking about my retreat is because my retreat is coming up and it's going to be with Lavinia. So a little bit of a change from my Stampin' Up retreats. This year we did Chloe's Creative as well in the summer, which went down very well. So this is a little Christmas card that I've made with Lavinia stamps. Very simple Christmas card using the tree and some sparkly bits. You can see there's some purple on there, purple sparkle. What are these? Stickles. Use some stickles on that. And I thought I would do something similar, but a bit more, show you a bit more depth to it. I also want to show you that you can stamp on their papers as well. They've got papers and you can stamp on them. So this is how the Christmas tree started out. Not that one, actually a little higher than that. Started out like this, and then I just decorated it. This one went straight onto the papers. You can also stamp onto papers and heat emboss. So this one's a little Pippin. This one needs finishing off. Both of these need finishing off. And that one. But I thought I'd do something a bit different with you guys today. So I've stamped the tree because you stamp it in, like for these, I like to use Versafine Clair, and that takes a little longer to dry. So I'm stamping the main image first, leaving it to dry, and then we'll build up the scene around it. So the first thing is that we need to ground the tree. The tree needs to have something to sit on. So I've got here a circle mask, but also my mini hill mask. Now, don't rush out and buy these. If you're coming to retreat, they'll be in your goodie bag if you've added on the stamps and stuff. So if you've gone for the full kit, these will be as part of your kit in retreat, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to start to build this up, and I want to start it with a little bit of snow underneath, so a little bit of shadow where it's sitting, and I'm going to make most of my work today with blues and purples, so Ange will be very happy. So I've got some, what's this, Della blue here, which is a lovely blue colour, and I'm just coming in from underneath. I'm just going to add a little bit of snow line underneath that tree. Now you do have to, it's just very delicate, and it just adds that snow line in really easily. You can always pick up, have a look and see, and there it is. Love it. And says, nice to see different colours for Christmas cards. Yes, I like different colours too. So I agree. It's nice to see different things. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I want to have another bit of snow coming in, kind of coming down here. So what we're doing here, it's just going to come in from the side. What we're doing here is we're just building up the shadows really, because it's snowy and the ground is snowy and the ground is snowy and it's white. So we can't put in white on a white card, but what we can do is we just put in the shadows that go behind it. So we're just going to add, just test it because I've got very juicy inks. Just want to test that, make sure it's not too juicy. So we're just going to come in, do a little bit of shadow work, coming down here very lightly, coming in and behind the tree, and then we'll have some more shadows at the sides. There we go. And you can just see that starting to bring in that sort of Christmassy feel. And then we'll have another one coming over the other side, coming down like this to meet it, behind this, just actually a bit lower down, about here. I'll do this. It doesn't need a lot of ink, just a little bit, just to give it that feeling that there's a shadow of something like a hill under there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of lines coming along, and then I want to do another one just about here, which will make sense in a moment. So again, just coming in and putting in my little tree lines. It's quite light, so it's hard to see sometimes, but hopefully you're catching this. And we'll just have a little bit of a hill there. Okay. Like so. Excellent. Alrighty. So there's our couple of our tree with a few hills, etc. All right. Not too shabby, not too tricky. Easy peasy so far. I'm just going to put these away because they're clear, and what happens is I lose them and then I can't find them again. So I was hunting high and low for my sun and moon this morning, but there we go. So now we're going to put the moon in because the moon is important. I want to have the moon just off from the tree, so not quite behind it, but just off around it. So again, a little bit of ink, just picking it up on the bottom of my little brush here. And this is why I like the Series 3 brushes, because it's smaller than, if you're using a standard blending brush. I like the standard blending brushes, don't get me wrong. But this one's great for doing small bits. Just sort of whizzing it round the outside of the moon shape. And I've gone for a small one here. You can do it as big as you like. If you want a nice big moon, you can make it bigger. There we go. So let me just pop this in. There we go. That's about all we need, just to show the moon. Okay, so that's that. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of this blue, just a little bit more around the edges. So I'm just going to go for this next size up brush. It's so juicy, this. I want to take as much of that off as possible, so I'm just rolling it around. There we go. I don't really want very much, I just want a really tiny amount. In this corner, a little bit coming down here, and you'll see why I want just a little bit coming down here in a moment. Okay. And then I'm not sure I want any at the bottom, actually. I think I just want a little bit here in the corner. Okay, that'll do. Don't need more than that because it's a really delicate card, so I don't want to go too much into it. Okay, so now we've got that bit done. Now we're going to stamp our next elements. So I've got here the icicles, which are a lovely, actually, icicle-y kind of look. I'm going to put this down just in case I go over the top of it, because I'm sitting down to it. I'm going to put that down the edge there. Do that one, and again hold it just to let it go in. Oh, look at that. And then we'll do some different sort of heights. Yeah. Now I want some here, but I'm not sure I want that big long one. So I'm going to mask that off with a bit of washi tape. Because you can rub it off, and I will rub off the ink so that it doesn't stick to the washi tape. But no matter how much you rub it off at the side, I can guarantee you it's going to have some left on it. And if you then stamped it on your project, you would ruin your project. So we don't want that. And you could just put a piece of paper over it. That also works. But I just like being sort of belt and braces. So I'm going to literally cover up the entire image here with a bit of washi tape. It does no harm whatsoever to the stamp, and it just means I can now stamp just these pieces. Of course, can't see where I am in contrast to that one, about there-ish. Okay, so I'm going to stamp there. See, and now I've only got just those bits, which is what I wanted. Now, I do want to put the long one down there, so I'm going to now take that off there again. Okay, just for now. I want to ink up the long one, and I'm going to put the long one down here, down this edge, sort of to match the other, but not quite so long, I don't think. Okay. And then I just need to fill in that little bit there. So now I'm going to want to use just the middle couple. So again, I'm going to ink it up. And this time I'm going to, remove probably, don't want to remove that one and that one. I think so. We'll clean them off as much as possible. That's where a lovely multi-purpose cloth comes in. Great. I just want those three. Okay, so now we will stick this one down here where it was before. Okay, then we'll add another piece. Where's my washi tape gone? And I know it's a bit of a faff, but it's, masking's fun if you do it right, and it's going to look good. So we'll take that piece off there, like so. And it just means you can make the stamp do whatever it is you want it to do, which gives you more value on your stamps. Otherwise, you've got a very uniform look going on, and you don't really want that on a list of group of icicles. And then I can stamp those with certainty in the middle there. She says, and she just misses one. Oh, that's not stamping. Rats. I'm going to have to come back in on that one. It's probably too thick with that. Okay, let me clean it and I will do this another way. I'm going to see if I can get rid of all of that. Oh, the best laid plans. Two bits of masking tape were too much. Okay, I'm going to take my stamp cleaner. That's my mist. I'm going to get my stamping mist. Brilliant stuff, this stuff. And I'm going to use it and really clean up. Really clean up these two and try and make sure that there's nothing left. If there's anything left, we cover it with a bit of sparkle. Okay, and we'll clean this one right off as well. Okay, and it's that one that's missing. So actually I could probably clean this lot off as well, just to be on the safe side. Because it's that bit there in the middle that's missing. Hopefully that will be okay. And it should just be able to add that back on. Ha! Success. Pretty good. Not bad. Oops. What did I just drop on the floor? Oh, washi tape. Okay. So there we go. So we've managed to fix that and make sure that that's not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay. There's always a way to fix everything. Now, I did forget to bring over my pencils. So what have I got? Where am I Stampin' Up pencils? There we go. Use my Stampin' Up watercolour pencils. What did I want? Oh, actually, I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. Here we go. Gorgeous Grape, because who doesn't love a gorgeous grape? But I'm going to sharpen that. Because that needs to be a little sharper if we're going to use that. Probably this one. I'll give that a bit of sharpen. Doesn't have to be really sharp. Just a bit sharp. Are you still there? Everyone's gone very quiet. Let me know if you're still there. Just getting rid of the bits. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of colour, purpley colour, to my icicles. Just on the opposite side to where the moon is. They don't have to be perfectly coloured in. They just need to have a little bit of colour. Because we're going to add some Wink Stella to this to make it sparkly. Oh, okay. Angie's there. I've got a purple heart. Oh no, my pencil's broken. Oof, that's not good. I must have dropped them. That's all right. I can use it still. Okay. Just a little bit of purple. Okay. I wanted a little bit of a purpley feel to this. So, saying that, we're going to... Oh, where's my big purple brush? Did I put it back over there? I did. One moment, caller. I'm going to have to go and get my purple brush. Hold on. So, here's my purple brush. I've got... this is velvet chalk, which is quite light in colour, but again, it's new. So, just going to add just a smidge of purple down here. Just a very small amount. You can hardly see it, but it's there. That just brings in the purple and the blue together. Okay, that'll do. Very tiny amount. Very, very tiny amount. Do not need a lot. Okay, so now we've got our icicles in. We are missing something. It's a bit blank over here. So we have our lovely little mini Pippin, which is our lovely little wabbit. Or hare, could be a hare. Too many stages for you, says Jane. Well, really, it's only stamping, just stamping and a little bit of masking. And to be fair, we're not going to probably do quite as much in our retreat next year as this. So we're going to put our little animal there. Pippin will also be part of your kit next year if you're coming to retreat. So again, don't go out and buy him. There we go. And then I want to add in blue a little tiny snowflake, which makes a really nice star at the top of the tree. I should have done this before I did my icicles, but never mind. There we go. Little star at the top of the tree. So that's what he's looking at. Yeah, definitely should have done my icicles a little bit further up, but you get the feeling. And then you can start to colour in your little dots on your tree, and then we'll add some more shading in a minute. So I've just literally pulled out some coloured pens that I have. They're not Stampin' Up, they're not anybody, well, they Staedtler, they're just normal pens. But I thought they'd be nice to add a little bit of colour to the tree's little dots. It's a bit like colouring, Jane. I guess if you don't like colouring, then that would be the thing. So, ooh, that's a bit dark. That one's a bit dark, so let's not go with purple. It's too dark on the black. Although I can see it, but not enough. Oh, these are better. So this is hard because you've got to do random, and you have to sometimes do stuff close together, even though you think it should be further apart. But that's truly random. So there we go. Just start adding. Oh, you can't really see that. Let me come a bit closer. Can I zoom in and zoom out on this? No. There we go. No, wrong way. There we go. Now you can see it a bit better when you're colouring it in. Hi, Jeanette. Anne says, where did you get your brushes from? I got them from Lavinia, but I will have some at the retreat, so you can always purchase um, when you get there. But if you want to use them in the meantime, then yeah, Lavinia. Okay. You will need a series 3 for retreat, that's for sure. All right, so that's that one. Then I'm going to add a little bit of pink. We're going to go over these with some uh, stickles anyway, but I just want some colour behind here. And there's quite a lot of dots, but some you can leave plain. You don't have to fill all of them in. And that's the thing. You decide how many baubles you want on your tree, right? So we'll just do these, do this, do this one, do that one, that one. But I will do some of the little ones, just so that we've got a bit more colour behind there. And then I've got a really pale blue. See, the purple's a bit dark, but I wonder if it's okay further down. Let's try that a bit further down. It's still pretty dark, but it is sort of showing. I do like the purple because it matches the purple of the icicles. So we'll add a few more purple in, I think. And we'll just add in some lighter blue. A different blue. And we can finish these ones off. It's supposed to be a lighter blue, but it's very similar to the other one, isn't it? Maybe I'll do a darker. Maybe I'll do these a bit darker. But then they might be too dark. And then they look like the purple again, don't they? Okay, we'll just add a few more in. Who knows? It's all going to come out okay in the wash. And then we'll just add some of these lighter ones back in again, because they show up better. So we'll just do a few of them. Okay. We'll leave some of these white. There we go. So that's that. And then just to finish off, we need just a little bit of shading, shading underneath our little Pippin, because you know he's sitting on his backside in the snow, so he needs to have a little bit of shading going on, something to sit in. So I don't even need to add any more colour really, just a little bit like that, and then we'll just shade him with our brush that's got a little bit of blue still on it. So just be patient. You have got a little bit of blue on there, so you don't need to do much more. There he is. A little bit of shading under there. And I'm going to put a little bit of extra shading actually here under the tree. I think it needs a bit more. And a bit spilling out over here because it's quite a big tree. So it needs a bit more shading there underneath it. It's a tiny amount, but it makes a difference. Okay, so that's pretty much all that bit done. Now we'll get some Winker Stella, because you've got to have sparkles at Christmas. My Winker Stella's done something. I've never had this happen before, but it's taken the inside of this and attached it to the top, which is a bit weird. There we go. Very strange. Anyway, it still works, so that's fine. But I've obviously had it too long. So we're going to, now we're moving that purple around using our Winker Stella. So not only is it adding a shine, but it's sort of just smushing our watercolour pencil around a bit, which is handy. Adding a bit of sparkle to it. Covering up that sort of splodgy bit up there. And then we'll add a bit more down here. Mix it in with the blue up there. Let's see which ones I've got up to. This one I need to do. This one. There we go. I'm going to turn around because otherwise I'm coming across with my colouring. You see, was I on camera? I keep forgetting that I'm on Zoom. I'm sorry if I wasn't on camera a minute ago. I hope I was. So just a wink of Stella. And all this does is just adds a sparkle, but it's also wet, so it helps to move the colours around. There we go. So let's now bring you back out again. Whoops, no, wrong way. There we go. Hopefully you can see that sparkle. Is it showing there? Yeah, you can sort of start to see the little sparkle on that. So we'll add a few little dashes of some Winker Stella along the tree. It won't show until you move the tree. We're going to make our little star a bit sparkly. Like so. Then what we're going to do is add a little bit of highlighting. Just a little bit of highlighting to pip in because the moonlight's coming this way. So we want to add a little bit of highlight to where the moon would sit. Maybe on there, a little bit there. Just a little bit like that so that you can see. There might be a little bit of light coming on the side of the tree here from the moon on that side, and a little bit, maybe a little bit under there on the trunk. And then we can just add a few. It doesn't look like it's doing much, but a little tiny bit of gel pen white. And then you can add Posca if you want, but it doesn't really add much to it, to be honest, at this point. Now you can add some words if you want to, but I kind of like it as it is because then you can say whatever you want indoors, inside. So I will just finish off with a little bit of stickles. This is Twinkle, and see it's got that lovely purpley blue colour. So I would finish this off and then I'll attach it to a card later once it's dry. And that's a lot of Twinkle. If you think you're getting too much Twinkle, then you can either use an old Winker Stella brush, or I've got one of these silicone paint brushes, and it's great because you can just paint on the twinkles. So you can paint it wherever you want, and you don't use too much of it. You just grab another little bit with it, and you just paint it as you fancy. So I find that easier to do than to try and get in all those like really thin and then thicker bits. See what I mean? And see, it's just adding even more sparkle. But you've got the underlying Winker Stella, so if you miss anything, it doesn't matter because it's going to be sparkly anyway. And actually, you don't have to do all of it then. You can just do some of it. It's really sparkly. And other bits you can leave to be just the Winker Stella. And then this bit over here, see this bit over here where I had to do it twice, it's a bit smudgy. I'm just going to cover that in sparkles. Nobody's going to know the difference. A bit of sparkle over there. There we go. And then I would layer this up probably on a gorgeous grape or a night of navy perhaps, or a black, and then pop that onto a card base. But I'm going to have to let my sparkles dry before I can do that. But I wanted to show you the sparkly bit first because the sparkles is more fun than just layering it up on a card base, right? There we go. And then to finish off, we can just touch some of these sparkly bits over the top of these baubles. So then it takes a little bit of the colour away because some of them are a bit bright and some of them are a bit dark. So you can add it to the dark ones. It just means you've got a bit of sparkle, but you're not having to do all of them because they've got some colour underneath. So there we go. So that's basically half an hour. So 10 minutes longer. It seems like lots of stuff, but it's actually only 10 minutes longer than doing the other card. So 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And two very different cards, two very different card styles. So if you fancy coming along to learn a bit more about Lavinia, we've got lots of really fast cards that we're going to be doing for Lavinia because I believe in having a good result, like lots of results from your day crafting. So if you know Lavinia, we're not going to be doing like real in-depth style cards that take like 3 hours to make one piece of cardstock, because that way you just feel like you're only walking away at the end of the day with one bit of card. So we'll be focusing much more on half-hour cards, 20-minute cards, the cards that you can do really quickly. So you'll have a stamper stack in the morning and then maybe a bit more in depth, but there'll be lots of demos and stuff. So if you fancy giving this a go, then come along to our retreat next year. Myself and Alison are looking forward to hosting that. Jane says, why do you need Winkle, Stella and Twinkles? Because it's a Christmas card and you want to add a bit of sparkle to a Christmas card. So you don't need it. It's just I like it because it adds a bit of sparkle to your Christmas card. And I think, in the same way as we added rhinestones to this, a few gems for a bit of sparkle, it's just adding sparkle a different way. But yeah, it's just bling in a different form. And we always need bling. So yeah, if you're interested, as I said, things are open for booking. Places are going fast. So get your craft on and come and book in for retreat. And at the moment, it's the only retreat I'll be doing next year. So if you fancy coming along and retreating with me, then March is your an opportunity to do that. And then we'll see how things go after that. So thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment. If you're watching on replay, leave me a comment. I always answer everybody. And I'd love to know what you think and which one you prefer, because I think they're very different, but at the same time, they're kind of still my style, which is simple and classic and elegant and, simply stylish at the end of the day. So I think they're both my style, but I don't think they're too far out, if you know what I mean. But they're just slightly different Christmas cards from your normal green and red and gold or silver, Christmas cards. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like it, I'll do more. Now, my next session that I'm coming up with is Make With Me in 2 weeks. And I will be, because it's Halloween, I'm going to do a special. It's not actually Halloween, but it's like Halloween month. So my next Make With Me will be the Lavinia calendar. So if you don't know what that is, Lavinia has a calendar which you can basically, this part of the calendar here every month is blank and you make your own calendar. So I will be doing a Halloweeny scene. So come and watch me do my calendar for October 2026, but it will be done in October 2025, if that makes sense. And then next month will be a kit from Stampin' Up, and it will be the what are we doing next month? So next month will be, at this point in time, this one, Brighten Your Day kit. So yes, if you want to do a kit with me, then come back in November. Otherwise, I'll be doing some stamping and some blending and some Halloweeny stuff in October, and it's the third Monday of the month. So that will be the 20th. So join me on the 20th of October, and I will see you then for my Make With Me. Alrighty, take care for now. Hope you've had fun. Cheers. Bye.